get connected. He still has no sound. And we're live, actually. So good morning. Jean will smile. Good morning. Oh my gosh, we have a guest this morning. Good morning, everyone out in Facebook world. This is Jennifer with Wake Up with Toastmasters. And my co-host Jean, who's working on getting some sound coming to us. So he's working on that. And we actually have a guest today, and it's no other than my sister, Cynthia D, my sister, fellow Toastmaster, Cynthia D. She has just been newly elected to the area director position, A3. And we asked her to be our guest at the last moment. She said yes, because she's up. Yay! And so she will be on just a few minutes because she is going to Ken Richardson's Club Early Risers, and it is early for her. So welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, Jennifer.
So you are now an area director. You've been an area director for 27 days now. You've been through some trainings. You've reached out to some clubs. Have you done any inductions yet?
I have done, let me see. No, I haven't.
You haven't done any installations yet? And this Early Risers your first club that you're going to?
This is my first club. I'm going to join this morning at 6:30 in the morning. So it's going to be interesting. It's going in as what you guys call it, a dignitary, and to see and talk to people and see what it's all about as an area director.
So I'm excited. If you guys do not know, I think we're getting sound, Jean. If you do not know that Cynthia is definitely an introvert, and you would not think that because she does have a presence with her groups that she's involved with, and everybody's like, Cynthia, 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 and she does take control and does take charge, but she is very much an introvert, where maybe she doesn't speak unless spoken to, and that's really funny. She's my sister, right?
Imagine that.
Yeah,
totally on opposite poles here.
Well, and we're a big age difference too, so it's not one of those where she couldn't get her voice heard, because for a good 8 years, it was just her and our two brothers. So it wasn't like she didn't get her word in, and then my brother and I come along and there's a whole house full of people. So, but she is very much an introvert, and she's been a Toastmasters for how long now?
About 2.5 years, 3 years, close to 3 years.
Yep, 2.5 years. And she is finally getting, well, not finally, but she's getting her voice where she is not so shy. We've seen her on the show before when she was talking about her interview with the pastors, and for her to become I was going to say a distinguished ordained pastor. And so she's overcome that obstacle, and now the next obstacle is to lead a group and filter out some information as an area director. So as an area director, Cynthia, do you have goals of what you personally want to achieve and then pass it on to your clubs? What are your goals?
Well, that's a good question, Jennifer, because as an area director, my responsibility is to help the clubs to raise their membership and strengthen their club existing right now. It's just like a mediator between me and my division director, which is Larry Johnson.
Who you guys met earlier last week, I think, again.
What'd you say?
They met him last week. He was
okay. So it's just to help the club plan their club meetings and just work with them, help them become and maintain president distinguished or distinguished clubs. So that is my goal right now. In fact, the number one goal is getting all our officers trained. That's the hardest thing. So I have one club that is stretched across the country. So
Oh, fun.
that's going to be a challenge right there.
Well, the world is getting smaller. As one of my brothers, our brothers have always said, the world's getting smaller. So when we were pushed into this world of Zoom Square, that it made it possible for clubs and members to be across the world, across the country and across the world. So it shouldn't be that hard to get everybody trained. We've had some opportunities, and I've seen on Facebook all over the place where there are clubs being trained. So that's good. But that's good that
There's
you
one.
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's
There's one, what you call a district is on demand training.
oh, okay.
So that's pretty good for those who can't go in person or going to Zoom, and they work all hours of the day, so they can do this on demand. So
Oh,
it's good.
yeah, that's good. I think that's Arizona. It's coming out of Arizona.
Arizona. Okay.
Yeah. So that is really good because of the fact that you can log in, get your certificate that you attended, and move on. And it's only for those who do not know, we have officer training. We've talked about it on the show a few times. We have officers training, and it's about 45 minutes. You listen and you're good. So, and you're trained as an officer. And it is definitely to help grow your clubs. If you're a trained officer, then you have the resource to be able to help grow your clubs. And then of course, being an area director is another resource to be able to lean against upon to be able to say, how do we grow our clubs? A good thing about Cynthia is that she is a learner. She loves to learn about new things. And we talk a lot about mentorship and being a protege. And I think with our club as Valley Voices and Vices that we have a lot of good mentors that'll help us guide our way through the darkness of being an area director and a division director. And I believe that, I think you feel that same way, right, Cynthia, that we have George and Maria as great mentors.
They keep us in line.
Say that again.
They keep us in line.
Yes, they do keep us in line.
Oh my goodness.
What have you learned from our mentors, George and Maria? Have you learned anything about being a leader in Toastmasters from them? Because they are embedded in Toastmasters, and they do a really good job because they don't have to do this anywhere, right? Because they're retired. What have you learned from them?
I have learned from George and Maria that knowing the rules is the best way to go. I mean, talking about not being mean about it, but they are sticklers about Toastmasters ways. And they believe in the standard that Toastmaster has, the integrity of Toastmaster, and they abide by that. And I appreciate by that because they do not waver on that, on their ways. But I do appreciate them for that, that integrity. That's the utmost part of the organization. I believe that they have is the integrity and the straightforwardness they have in both.
Yeah, they are definitely the sticklers of the integrity, which, and they recite it back, right, to you. They recite it, well, if you want to talk about integrity, blah, blah, blah. If you want to talk about the resources or respect. So then they do refer back to that. And I think you gravitate to them a lot because of their integrity. I was on here the other day and I said rules schmools, but Jean, did you get your volume back yet? Nope.
Nope. Restart, Jean.
Well, if you have any
Restart.
comments to ask Cynthia about Jean. Well, you're on mute right now. So maybe that's why. Nope. If you have anything to say to Cynthia, then put it in the chat because we do want to hear from you because you are my co-host. But I thought that was kind of funny. But Maria, when I made my one comment, Maria was like, no, you all are also the trailblazer, for what she was saying, because sometimes things do need to change as well. So
yeah.
Now, as you are disseminating information down to the club, and we're still looking for one area director, and I think it's for area B, as you're disseminating information down to the clubs from the division to the clubs. Oh, I forgot my question. I hate when I do that. You will be seeing new members or different club members and interacting with them. And you will also be looking for, I already told my area directors, you're also looking for your future replacement. So that is going to be huge. What is your plan to pull the leaders out of these clubs? Because I know you're going to go a couple of times, maybe more so than what is required to get to know the club, do their club reports, and then go back again next half. So what is your plan to?
There you are, Jean.
Hey. Also, you should go. My voice is terrible. Also should go to install their officers about this time. So you contact the club and say, hey, I'm coming over to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's a good way to get to know them.
Do that yet.
Yep. That's why she's actually going to early risers today to do that. And then she's already reached out to the clubs and they're reaching back out to her. So, which is good. But so my question was then, what is on your radar to pull out leaders? Because we are leaders where leaders are made.
So are you asking me how I will distinguish a leader?
Plan? Yeah.
Okay. What I look for in a leader, that how are they volunteering, how their services are. They don't cut down other people. They are true to their words. They will do what they say, and you can depend on them. And like, there's a lot of people who say they're leaders and they say, well, I did this, but in the back corner, they're not. And before I can pull them out, before they can be a leader, I can just interview them and ask them, what is your goals? What is your achievement? What have you done? What have you done for the club? What have you been involved in? Do you like to volunteer? Do you gripe about it? And if they, gripe and they blah, 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 or they, and it's very hard. I have to look at their character too. I have to.
Well, we have a lot of leaders out there who don't know that they're leaders too. So when you're out there in the clubs and you see how they carry themselves, I would probably want to be that magnet for them and have myself gravitate to them, right? To be able to see definitely who they are. Yeah, that was a great table topics, wasn't it, Cynthia?
I don't think I made it till 1 minute and 30 seconds, but okay.
I just have to ask and have you be reminded of that. My area directors, I will tell them, because I have area directors, because now I'm the division directors for the audience who does not know that. That's where I told them to make sure that they're looking for the leaders, because when you're looking for the leaders, then you can remember that you have a contest coming up as well, contest season in 6 months. So we need their volunteer as well.
Mhm.
Have a little mini club, right? Who's going to be the PR, who's going to advertise it, who's going to be the sergeant at arms, who's going to be the Toastmaster. So you have to have a little mini club from all of your clubs. So
Yeah.
so pretty excited about that. Well, Cynthia, it is 6:15, and I know that you have to go to Early Risers and pop in and do your little social visit. Is there anything out there that you would like to say to the world of Facebook land who are prospects about Toastmasters?
To get involved is very good for you. If you want to do a speaker's tour, if you want to just improve your speaking, if you want to get to know other people, know their characters, if you have problems with other people and their characters, get involved with Toastmasters, because you can meet people all over the world. Everyone has a different characteristic about themselves, and to see how you can improve your character and how to meet and greet and how to communicate with others.
Well, that is definitely going on a promo, because you did a great answer, great tabletop answer there, even though it's under 20 seconds. But you heard it here from Cynthia, the reason why one should be a Toastmaster. And don't forget, if you are interested in being a Toastmaster, you can go to our toastmasters.org and find any club that may be around in our area. And then also you can also put in the comments, I want to see a club, tell me all about Toastmasters, and we'll be glad to help you out. We are going to let Cynthia go so that she can have a little social time with the meeting club members. And thanks for popping on. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I believe Valley Voices and Vices was the first club I joined.
Yeah. Yep. And were you the area director for them as well?
I was the area director. They were C4, and I had 6 clubs.
Oh, wow.
In the area.
Good. Well, I am happy for her that she is coming out of her comfort zone of mixing with people, mixing with different people, mixing it, because she has a community all on her own, and now she is involved in the Facebook in the Toastmasters community, where it's a whole different breed of people, and she is definitely coming out of her shell, which is great, because she is very shy. I don't even know how we're sisters, because we are, like she said, polar opposites, and it's great to have her. I am actually the younger one, but she came on to Toastmasters, I think 2 weeks after I did. And so we basically have risen together through the Toastmasters ranks. So super excited about that. I actually wrote a newsletter, article in the newsletter, and I figured that maybe I'll spend the next 10 minutes, 10 minutes talking about that. And we have a goal as Toastmasters and as a district leaders that we want to increase membership, right? That's why the show is here, to tell you all about what Toastmasters is and why we are always talking about gaining members, grabbing members. And first of all, we have to have a visitor before we actually have a member, right? So I was the public relations manager and for the district, and we did do some information that was sent out to the world of social media. And now that we are out of the cocoon of being quarantined, which granted it has been a year, but we still had some skepticism of being out in public and mixing with people that we don't normally mix with, because of, we just want to stay safe. But now we're ready to run around and go to networking events and enhance our exposure to the world about Toastmasters. but I am still all about the social media. So a lot of people, when we did our training, we talked about officers training when we were doing our officers training for the Vice President of Public Relations officer role. We talked a lot about social media and posting and what to post. And I ran across this article that, or actually it came from Chelsea Pipes, who wrote a book about what to post. And there's about 6 items to ask yourself before you post, And so I just wanted to recite some of that so that if those of you who are watching that are members of our clubs and who are VPPRs, maybe you can ask, or if you're not a VPPR, you can take this back to your VPR about, hey, we should start doing this for posting to social media. The number one question is, am I making a statement, or am I inviting a reader into the conversation by sharing a story? We as Toastmasters are what? We are storytellers. We have that capability of telling the stories. We are being evaluated when we give our presentations. And one of the feedback that if you are a great storyteller, we will say, you are a great storyteller. So take that knowledge that you have, that you have learned and share your story. If you see me on Valley Voices and Vices, which then I'll share the videos, but after our meeting, I go back and I record a video, and it's sharing a story of what I learned, what impacted me through our meeting that day. So take that and move forward with, are you making a statement?
Yeah, we should invite some of the club officers to come on and do part of the show with us, and then they could go to Valley Voices and Vices after that.
Maybe we'll do that for next Wednesday. I will do that. So I will ask them, and then we can have the whole panel of them at once. I like that, Jean. I will ask them.
Good.
You went somewhere. You're on mute.
No, I kind of lost the mute button. Yep. So we're that's a good plan. Invite the officers.
Yeah, it's George, Maria, myself, and Peggy. So I will ask. All right. Did I include a relatable lesson, tip, or message in the post caption? So when you are doing a video or when you're doing a post, it is something that's going to be relatable to make somebody stop on your post and read it. Because, people are just scrolling through. They're not really reading unless there is something that's attractive for them to read. Number 3, does this story build relatability, communicate empathy, and establish a competency in a niche? So do you know your audience? And which is number 1, right? Who do you want this post to attract? Number 3, did I ask a specific question and include a call to action? If you will see my post lately, it will say, what is this week on Valley Voices and Vices, it's about music. So what is your favorite music genre? And then boom, people can answer those questions, right? Did I humanize the content by including a face, a voice, and add my unique opinion or perspective? People want to see your face. They don't want to see an animal, a character animated. They want to see your face. So make sure you add your voice, your face, who you are, make it relatable. Does this fall into an educational, engaging, emotional, entertaining, or exclusive category? Where does it fall? Is it funny? Is it serious? Is it engaging? Is it in educational? Ask yourself before you make that post. And then, would this post make me engage with it, share with it, save it, or comment? I always hope that whenever I post something, it is something that I want to share. So of course, everybody gets it, and then with the hopes that everybody else will share it as well. So just look for your newsletter for those of you who are Toastmasters. Look for the newsletter from Ken that's coming out. I would think that it's this weekend. I have those points in, I call it the VPPR corner. And if you want to know more about Chelsea Pites, I can share with you her information as well, who is a social media coach. She does it mainly for realtors, but it's a lot of good tips for anybody who's out there that's networking in the social media realm. So on that note, it is 6:25. And we started a little early today, which was pretty cool. What, me early on a Wednesday morning? That's crazy. And so we can end a little early because we have spent our 30 minutes here. Jean, do you have anything to say before we take off?
No, I'm looking forward to starting this year as an area director, though, and getting some clubs in order and finding some people. So yeah, I'm looking for how to bring the message to the people and inspire them to join a club, or even to inspire them to visit a club.
Yeah,
they don't have to join; they can come just visit and see what they think.
What area are you a director for again? Because I forget. Sorry.
I'm going to say C4, but I don't think so. It's
are you under
it's D1? It's D1.
C1. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Jean's an area director as well, which I completely forget because you're right here all the time. And, and he has the same goal too. And one of the things that you just said is join. When we say join, it means to come visit. And I think that's another tip for social media as well, is instead of saying join us, I said come visit us, because join means, I think, a commitment to join the club meetings. But you said that right, at least just come and visit a club, see what we're all about, see what the meetings are. Because when we are talking here on Wake Up with Toastmasters, we talk a lot of things about a Toastmaster, about being a Toastmaster, but it is definitely different when you are at a meeting, because we are fun, we laugh, it is very educational because we learn something new. You've seen those who are officers that have come on and talked about how much fun that they have at their meetings. And we are, that's what we're all about. And we definitely encourage you to come visit. I did have one question yesterday. I had a lady who didn't even know I was a Toastmaster, but she was talking about visiting a Toastmasters club. And she was asking, would it really help? And I told her it does help with communication a lot, because she's starting to wanting to do more videos. And anybody, realtors, lenders who are out there and trying to drum up ideas on how to promote their business, I would definitely join a Toastmasters club as well, just for the communication. Doesn't mean that you need to speak in the room of 500 people. It's the room that you're speaking to is more than 500 people. And if you want to brush up on that communication style of being able to communicate, do videos, look in the camera and know who you're talking to, join a Toastmasters club, and they are bound to help you out. So I look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday. I will ask my Valley Voices and Vices officers to see if they will want to pop in and be interviewed, and we'll go from there. So we're getting visitors, we're getting guests. I like that, right?
It'd be nice to see George and Maria again.
Yeah. So I will ask them that. All right. On that note, it is time to go. It is Wednesday. I have to get to work. I hope you guys all have a great day. Happy Hump Day.